All right, everyone, welcome back into another props video. Going to be touching on the top prop bets for Flex Friday, as well as breaking down the NFL preseason 3-game slate. Let's go ahead and get into it. And so just looking at the PrizePicks board for today, we are going to notice a couple of decent prop bets. You guys kind of know my feelings for these ones that are being basically valued as pushes. So I'm kind of okay with kind of passing up on all of them. So really, to me, the starting point would be looking at Bryce Harper for his over fantasy score. That, to me, is the best one that we have on paper. Looking at it, guys, projected to get 10.63 for his average fantasy score. Average sportsbook line would have this at 8.9. So that is seemingly going to be a good prop bet. Let's go ahead and see if we are getting any more good MLB prop bets. And what I want to do is I'm going to just see where the data correlates, where the projection data matches up with the sportsbook line as well. And as we can see, it is a little bit of a limited board that we have. Maybe Jose Altuve for over his hitting fantasy score as well. Jordan is decent there. But it is kind of a limited board. Now, maybe that's a good thing. I know the last two videos I did, not good days. Tuesdays and yesterday's videos were not good. I mean, we know that'll eventually come back around for good. And maybe that's today. We do have, I would say, 3 good bets that we could use for our Flex Friday slip if we choose to do so. Jose Ramirez is not bad, but now we're starting to get a little bit too low to the point where, we're not getting the biggest edges. We got Chris Bassett for under his pitching fantasy score, 35.5. I greatly hope that this doesn't hit. I am right on the brink, guys, of in my baseball playoffs, or my league making the playoffs. I could be the 3 seed, I could be the 7th seed and miss out. It's borderline. I really need a good outing from Chris Bassett, but we can see there is a little bit of an outlier here between how Vegas sees this game going. Now, they are favoring the over at about 31.2, okay? And really, we know that is just like the difference between a strikeout and potentially getting a quality start. It's a fine line. One of the pitching prop bets I was on yesterday had the over, and then seemingly crushing the over, and then 30 minutes later, gave up 5 runs and didn't get his over. That does happen with pitching. Obviously, hoping that happens with Chris Bassett. I mean, I'm not because of a season long, but for props betting, sort of. But we have decent prop bets. At least we have something to go off of. Obviously, Flex Friday, it's nice to have that little buffer with the kind of, I don't want to say free payout, but with the promotion funds, with whatever that is. Now, just real quickly, WNBA-wise, we have one good prop bet here. Alyssa Thomas for under her fantasy score. Nothing too much there. Projected to get around 31 minutes there. Averages about 33 minutes, so we're kind of okay with that. Just across the board, we can see that PrizePicks and Underdog a little bit too high in comparison to the projection data and the average sportsbook line. Again, small edges there, but we'll take that. And then let's just go ahead and jump on into the preseason. And I did want to take a peek at the discrepancies tab to see if we're getting any sort of edges there today. We got about one, I would say, receiving yards in college football, a big prop line difference there. So Jaylen Brown bet is over for his receiving yards. This will be a separate video that I do probably right after this, just as an FYI, but that's a pretty big prop line difference. I'm kind of okay using that. And so now let's go ahead and jump into those prop bets that we have for today in the NFL preseason. Now, the one to me that probably, or kind of the two that stick out to me the most are these prop bets for the Las Vegas Raiders. I don't really get what's going on here. Carter Bradley should be playing a full half. Nathan Peterman should also be playing a full half. You might have some bad feelings towards Nathan Peterman, but he has also always been able to produce against backups. If you look back at why Sean McDermott, I think it was Sean McDermott back when he chose to start Nathan Peterman over Tyrod Taylor, which did cause a little bit of controversy, it was because Nathan Peterman lit it up in the preseason. That was his rookie year. He has still done that every single year. I would say that's a low line there, and I would also say Carter Bradley is also a low line. They are both scheduled to play a half of football. I would hope they'd be able to get, let's just say, 2 sustained drives. Now, I do want to call out Carter Bradley's is at 78.5, his passing yards prop on Underdog. That's a better bet there. Nathan Peterman, it really just depends on how motivated he's been. Is he still prepping for the NFL? A lot of backups and whatnot, practice squad players, they'll start to tail off a little bit, obviously, because, well, they're just not as invested. That's my biggest worry with him. Looking at these prop bets, Mike White versus Skylar Thompson, they should both play about a half of football as well. Those seem to be a little bit too low. And I think the comparison that I want to make is Mac Jones and Trevor Lawrence. Now, they are going to be going up against the Atlanta Falcons backups. The Falcons will not be playing their starters, and that's why we're seeing some prop line differences there. And I think that's why those lines are so high. Mac Jones has the chance to maybe play more than a half of football. The Jaguars are scheduled to play their starters about a half of football. They say a half. I don't know if I believe that. Mac Jones would then be the only... EJ Perry is going to be active for him. Recently signed EJ Perry, but my assumption is that Mac Jones would be the only quarterback then taking reps after that. So decent prop bets here. I don't mind all of those. Looking at the receiving yards, I kind of think these are mostly all correct. I do expect Casey Washington, Jesse Matthews to get a lot of work. To me, guys, this seems like one of the few preseason NFL DFS slates where we have a great chance in terms of stacking. Casey Washington, Jesse Matthews, they are two players that should be playing a lot in this game. If they are playing about the full game, which is basically, they didn't do that. Last week they played a full half, and then we're mixed in a little bit in the third quarter, but chances are they're going to play a little bit more in this game. If they do that, those are low lines for them. John Fitzpatrick played basically the full game for the Falcons last week at the tight end position. If that happens again, that's a little bit too low. Malik Washington and Ezekama are interesting ones because the Miami Dolphins are so banged up. It would make logical sense for these two to get a lot of playing time tonight. But at the same time, with how banged up the Miami Dolphins are as well, these are two players that could be playing a little bit, mixed in there for them, maybe special teams and whatnot. Maybe they actually don't get that many reps in this game because of that, because they're so banged up. They don't want to risk anyone getting more injured. They already like these two. That is a concern. Cody Thompson was the top pass catcher last week. I don't know if I necessarily see that happening this week, but that's why his line is so high. Chances are Wilkerson is going to get a lot of work in this game. I'm pretty sure Trey Tucker is out in this game as well. I put in the 9 to 5 Discord last night that we were getting some pretty big edges in a similar situation last night with the Chicago Bears, where Dante Pettis props lines were there the whole night up until lineup block. And because of that, we were getting some pretty good edges on Tyler Scott and even Webster a little bit, but I was really dialed in on Webster. He ended up getting that over. This somewhat feels like that situation. Wilkerson should get a lot more work if Tucker is indeed out, and so should DJ Turner. Those are two pretty good lines that we have there. Then from there, I do think it is somewhat of a guessing game in terms of which running backs we want to be on for props betting. Okay. De'Aaron Hurst-Johnson probably will only get 6 carries. Can he get the over in 6 carries? Travis Etienne as well. Probably not going to get that many carries. I don't see Travis Etienne playing a full half of football. I see them mixing in Tank Bigsby a little bit in this game. Why risk Etienne getting injured? All right, so let's go ahead and switch up and get into a little bit of underdog as well. We are seeing a lot more line clarity here. Casey Washington, I don't mind, is over there. That's not bad. Carlos Washington, I would say that's about the correct line. He should be playing a lot in this game, though. If he does play about a half of football, that does seem to be a little bit too low to me. I'd be fine with that. Kyle Trask is certainly an interesting one, guys. John Wolford could potentially sit. Actually, let me just double check. I'm going to pause the video on my end. You guys won't notice the difference, but I want to see if we got an update from Wolford. We do not. So he missed practice, I think it was 2 days ago, with a rib injury. Haven't received an update on that. So we could be seeing an extensive amount of Kyle Trask potentially playing 3 quarters. Him at 95.5 for his passing yards, that seems to be too low. From there, we're not getting that many prop bets in that Las Vegas Raiders game. I'm a little bit surprised by that, but I do like Wilkerson for his over there. Again, he should be playing a decent amount. I'm a little bit surprised by that. And then Carter Bradley, again, if we're chasing a prop bet there, that should correlate a little bit with Wilkerson as well. Both of those should go hand in hand. And then lastly, guys, I do want to just real quickly touch on pick 6 as well. Jacob Cowing is someone that should play a decent amount for the Niners tonight. I would agree that that's a good line there. Ronnie Bell's line is a little bit too low for the Niners as well. I'm kind of okay with betting that over. As a comma, if you guys were really wanting to bet on him, you definitely want to do it on pick 6 today. Malik Washington as well. It's just those small edges you can make. We're not getting any massive edges, which yesterday the massive edge that we got was the Chiefs' backup quarterback, Oladunkum. I butchered his last name. Anyways, he was scheduled to play a full half of football, so his pick 6 line was trash. He ended up not coming closer. He ended up playing terribly, and so that was annoying. That happens, though. That's the nature of the beast sometimes. Some decent edges here, though. All right, so looking at the bet of the day here on Underdog, again, taking Kyle Trask for his over passing yards. That line does seem to be a little bit too low, given the fact that, again, he could play about 3 quarters in this game. And then Wilkerson is someone that should be playing about a half of football. I don't mind pairing that up with Carter Bradley. Again, if you guys are going to use this and have never signed up for Underdog before, make sure to use the promo code 925. They currently have this token promo going on right now, which is just a free square you could take. For instance, what I did was I took Trevor Lawrence over his passing yards, which then you apply the token and makes it a free square essentially. And the reason I did that is because we know Trevor Lawrence is going to play a half of football. Fingers crossed that that does come true. You never know with preseason. I probably should have done just a WNBA prop bet with that. So for prize picks, here is a small 3-slip flex Friday bet for you guys. If you guys want to extend this into a 5-slip or 6-slip bet, I would suggest using those MLB prop bets that I called out. I'll pull those up again. And so that would be Alvarez and Jose Altuve. A little bit of correlation there as well, which we like to see. Actually, I like that. Let's toss that in there, make it a 5-slip bet for us. All right, guys, that's going to be all for this video. Make sure to give a like and subscribe to the channel. Do appreciate that. If you guys want access to any of the tools that you saw in this video, head on over to 9to5sports.com. Available at your access for just $10 a month. All right, thanks for watching. Good luck, and as always, let's keep cashing.